Last time, after our guests left, we got the boat cleaned up with the help from Maria and Ria. Thank you, ladies. I downloaded many files off of my cameras.
1,300 files.
I offered another testimony for frozen yogurt, but it cannot be sugar-free. I check in with the crew from Conch Charters after their day sail.
You guys had fun today?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Good to hear.
A lot of fun today.
Hello.
I replaced the Gypsy Pawl and Gypsy Locker. This is working, and this is working, and this keeps the chain in the Gypsy. We visit the chandlery for boat parts. We go to Right Way Market for provisions and wine. Of course, wine. Georgia puts everything away, and I replace the shackle between the anchor and the swivel with a larger one. Now there's sufficient room between the corners here and the anchor. We had a night with squeaky fenders. I top off the water tanks before we get underway. We get some fuel with the help of Liz and her crew.
Thank you.
And we are off sailing. We're on our way from Conch Charters to the North Sound of Virgin Gorda. The Admiral's at the helm. We had some wonderful help from Maria and Ria cleaning up the boat. I performed a few projects. Georgia and I got some boat parts and a few provisions. We had a good night's sleep, even with the squeaky fenders, and now we are off. We're headed for the North Sound of Virgin Gorda, currently motoring into the wind. We'll raise the main shortly, turn left, begin a starboard tack for hopefully the whole way there. We have raised the sails and shut down the engines. We are sailing. We have 15 knots of apparent wind speed. We are sailing at 57 degrees to the apparent wind, and we are moving at 7 knots through the water. It's a good day to be sailing. And it was $6.10 a gallon. We took 65 gallons. It was mostly generator hours for air conditioning, which, by the way, was well worth it the past couple of weeks. So here we are sailing at 4 knots, and we're doing fine. Not a great sailing speed at 4 knots, but we are under 50 degrees apparent wind angle, where we were. We're sailing 38 degrees apparent wind angle, 40 degrees apparent wind angle at about 4 knots through the water, 3.5 knots over ground due to current. Not ideal, but not horrible either.
Acknowledge.
According to the AIS, we will be within as little as 30 feet in 2 minutes. That's what it looks like on the plotter. We're on starboard tack, so technically we're the stand-on vessel. I can fall off pretty easily and gain a bunch of speed and get away from him. Just curious to see how this plays out. I changed course to give us a little more room at this point in the passage.
I was the stand-on vessel again, but I ended up changing course to avoid a close quarter situation. Mosquito Island in the background, Virgin Gorda to the right. As you know, Cabo is available for bareboat charter. Upon returning to the boat, I found many of the rings that attached the cords were stretched beyond imagination. Someone who was very strong was not clear on how pelican hooks work, so here's a short tutorial. Pull the cord in the same direction as the pin. Easy peasy.
In line with the pin. In line with the pin. In line with the pin.
The fancy lunch of sailors.
Yes.
We are not sponsored by Doritos or potato chips. We are headed to the Catamarans Yacht Club to pay for our mooring ball. Granted, Kinto would come out later in the afternoon to collect the mooring fee, but it's nice to check in, say hello, and walk the campus of the Catamarans Yacht Club.
There's a lot of dinghies here.
Bert is one of the Catamarans Yacht Club water taxis. Want to guess what the other vessel's name might be? This is a Lagoon 77. It's a very large sailing catamaran. Its footprint is 1 foot smaller than a tennis court. How's that for a roomy vessel? Floaty time for Georgia, and an underwater inspection for me. The propellers were painted with egg whites, which is an amazing anti-fouling covering. No growth on the propellers at all. That's an odd patch of paint to be missing from the propeller. There appears to be some marine growth in the water intake slots. I will clean that out shortly. There are days on the boat when we don't do much. We relax, enjoy the surroundings, sights and sounds, and appreciate being on the water. Some days we don't make much of an effort to get out and about and just allow the days to unfold. We don't feel much, and one might call the experience ordinary. Yes, it's ordinary in the sense that we are in the Caribbean, on a yacht, in one of the world's most beautiful places on earth. Then yes, I would call it ordinary. Pride of ownership takes various forms and shows up in a multitude of ways. There is the care and maintenance that goes into her to make her look good and function well. Polishing her gel coat, cleaning the waterline, and removing the marine growth from her bottom. There are projects to improve just about anything on board, from where the tools are kept to how the rigging is run. There is the admiring of her lines from afar, say from a dinghy ride, or during a swim, or from the beach, and even at the dock. Spending a few moments admiring her lines triggers memories of adventures had and adventures and dreams to come. This Lagoon 450 is ours, and we are happy and blessed that we get to spend time on her and that we've had the opportunity to share her with family and friends and with you through these videos. We are going to get underway, so it is time to put the dinghy away. First step is to attach the davit lines, which is already complete. The bow is raised first. Fortunately, we have an electric winch, so this is really easy. The stern is then raised just above the waterline. We hold that position. We remove the drain plug and allow the water to drain out. This step requires a bit of balance. We wait as the water drains. When the water is out, the stern is raised the rest of the way. Note that we stop when the knot is at the sheave at the davit. The stern line is wrapped around the cleat, the dinghy is pulled in, and a cleat hitch secures the dinghy. We move to the bow and put a couple of wraps of the painter on the winch. We pull the dinghy in so that the tubes are snug against the davit poles. This keeps the dinghy from swinging around when we are underway, and the job is complete. We have untied the mooring lines, and we are now underway. So today we're headed for Great Harbor on Jost Van Dyke. We managed to get ball number 4 after Bodie ball had a system failure. That took about 50 minutes to sort out, but it's a nice morning and we're on our way. We have the main up and we will put out the Genoa shortly.
We're leaving Virgin Gorda and it's sunny and breezy, which is nice. However, where we're going is that way, and we can't see Jost because it's basically covered with clouds, maybe rain. We're about to find out. It's about 20 miles from where we are now, at 6 knots, 3 to 4 hours. Hold on to your hats. We are sailing with the wind on the stern. The true wind speed is 6.5 knots, and we're doing about 3.5 knots, almost 4 knots over ground. It's so exciting at the current moment. I can hardly stay awake.
What'd you say, honey?
I said, are we moving?
It doesn't feel like we're moving, but we're actually making almost 4 knots over ground. So we've got still 20 miles to go. That's about 5 hours till we get there. Good thing we're not on a schedule. We have very little apparent wind.
18.8 miles to go. 9 knots of true wind speed. And 5 knots over ground. 16.9 miles to go. Took down the Genoa, so now we just have the mainsail up. And it's a slow trip today. 13.9 miles.
Alright, we're a little impatient today, so we're motoring on 1 mainsail and 1 starboard engine, and we're getting along at about 7 knots. We still have 11.1 miles to go. That'll get us there in just under 2 hours. And it's 11:30, so about 1:30ish. What do you have to say about that, Admiral?
I'm glad we're motoring.
We're both a little impatient today. The rainy weather we saw earlier has dissipated, and it looks like it's going to be a very nice day. The darker colored trampolines make it easy to see the water underneath, which is wonderful. The last time we were here, Joan, the owner of the Sugar and Spice Snack Shack, gave Georgia and I a very nice bottle of wine. So we thought we would do a little something in return. We gave her a new Sailing Life Yacht Club ball cap, and we ordered her wares, which will be delivered to the boat in the morning.
Well, we saw Joan. She's now a member of the Sailing Life Yacht Club, lifetime member.
We have a little weather coming, so we put down the enclosure in here. Keep some of the weather out. Not all of it. But the wind is kicked up. You can see it coming. Here we are at Great Harbor, and we got ourselves a bit of rain. Nice thing about a rain is it gives the boat a nice wash. It is also a good time to inspect the boat for leaks and such, so the appropriate steps can be taken to remedy such findings. It's a new day. We have guests arriving late this afternoon, so eventually we will make our way back to the dock. In the meantime, we will relax, have breakfast, clean up a bit, sort out a project or two, and eventually get underway. Yes. Okay, we're leaving Great Harbor. We had dinner at Corsairs last night, and now we're headed to Road Town to pick up Shauna and Adrian. So they should be here late this afternoon, and we'll get to the dock and clean up the boat and take a nap, I think, until they arrive. This is mostly an upwind passage, so we will motor and take our time to get back to the dock. No, she's never on the phone.
So rude.
Hey, Asif.
Hi. Good.
Good. Thank you for
How you
bringing
doing?
You're well.
Hey, Shauna.
Hi, nice to see you.
Thanks. Welcome.
You look nice and tan.
Yeah, well, can't help it. Hey, Adrian. Good to see you.
We're happy to be here. We finally
We're
made it.
We're good. I hear
Hi,
you.
nice to meet you.
I'm Adrian.
Nice to meet you. Hi, nice to meet you.
And I'm Adrian.
Nice to meet you. Cheers.
Come back next time as we take Shauna and Adrian sailing to explore the British Virgin Islands. We would like to invite you to subscribe, click the like button, and leave a comment or a question. Thanks for watching.